Oh, I've been wanting to record this for such a long period of time. This is gonna be the perfect place to have the iPad. Nu, yes. Hej, hallå där. Creating your first YouTube video is one of the easiest things that you can do. The first thing you do, record yourself, upload that to YouTube. You don't even have to do an edit. But recording a YouTube video in the sense of trying to make it interesting, trying to come up with a story, trying to make a product review, trying to make a tutorial. Now that is what's hard with YouTube. But that is exactly what we're going to cover in this episode, which is going to be the first in this YouTube course. One of the most common things that I hear when you start out recording yourself for YouTube is how uncomfortable it feels to talk to a camera. I remember when I started making my YouTube videos at home in my kitchen, and as soon as I pressed the record button, I felt that I had to perform. I felt that everything that I say, everything that I do, everything that the camera is recording had to make it into the YouTube video. But that is not the case, because when you are pressing the record button, you are just making sure that what you do is being recorded. Not everything has to end up into the video that you're creating. And once I got that sort of thinking into my head, it made things a lot easier. So before you jump in and start recording your YouTube videos, I want you to think that not everything that you record needs to end up in your video. So make sure that you relax when you start talking to the camera. You can be the way that you are and don't have to be anyone else. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to think that you have to be this super upbeat person on camera. Just let it come to you and it will feel more naturally, and your audience will also appreciate that you are, comfortable in front of the camera because you're doing the practice of just letting things be. One of the things to think about though is that the camera is an inanimate object. So it's not gonna give you any responses. It's not gonna say anything. It's just gonna be standing there looking at you. And it's very important that you are looking back into the camera. A lot of people that I see when they're starting the first couple of YouTube videos is that they are looking at the screen to make sure that they see what they are recording, but you are the viewer of the video. And that is why we want to make sure that we are talking to the viewer of the video as much as we possibly can. And it takes time to be natural in front of the camera. It's not something that will come to you instantly. It's not something that you can be good at instantly either. And there will probably be a lot of people that think it's weird that you are recording yourself. But the more you do it, the better you become. And I tend to always draw the parallel to people that are working in television. Because when you are watching your favorite TV show or your favorite live show that is running on Friday nights, then that show probably have a host that is feeling very comfortable in front of the camera. But they didn't start feeling uncomfortable in front of the camera because they have had a lot of practice with a lot of different mentors throughout the years. The good thing about YouTube though is that we can do this all on our own in our own basement without anyone watching, and just practice every single time that we're uploading a video and feel more natural in front of the camera, the more our skills are going up. And the cool thing about YouTube is that there's literally no end to what kind of niche or what kind of video that you can make on the platform. As long as you enjoy the process of said niche or said thing or said tutorial, then you should do that. You should focus on things that you think is fun, because that will shine through the camera. And I want to jump into video structures, because this was something that I struggled with a whole lot at the beginning of my career. It has been progressing throughout the years that I've been doing this, and I've been more and more narrowed down to what works and what doesn't work when it comes to creating interesting videos and videos that are engaging with the audience. There's going to be infinite amount of ways that you can start out a YouTube video, but one of the things that I've seen that works very good is to show the hook first. If you haven't done YouTube before, A hook is basically something that draws in your audience. A hook can be showing off the unboxing of the product and then rewinding the video so that you start from the beginning and then take the viewer through the entire unboxing and your comments on the product. But we want to make sure that the first couple of seconds of our YouTube video is really drawing in the attention of our viewers. So if you are making a product review video, then it's very good to show the best parts of the video in the first 15 seconds and then roll your intro. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is that people are starting out the video with something that is completely unrelated to the title of the video. I have done this mistake myself so many times, and I always need to remind myself that hook first, intro later. And that is what you should think about, because that will make your video so much more interesting. And once you've presented the hook to your audience, then you can share a little bit of what you want to say in the beginning of the video, such as, maybe follow you on YouTube or subscribe or give it a like and that kind of stuff, so that you already have the audience's attention, but then can draw them back into the video and then show them the product again. But it's also very important that you don't drag this part out for too long, because then you're just going to lose the interest of your audience, and then they're going to leave and click on another video, which is going to push down your video in the YouTube algorithm. So try to be brief, try to be short, and try to get to the point pretty quickly. And once you've gotten your point across about subscribing, following, and all that stuff, which I think you should do in every video, because even though it is annoying to some people, it is proven that if you do a call to action in your video, then people will actually click subscribe or follow you on Instagram way more than if you just save it to the end of the video. But be very brief. Just a mention, nothing more. When you're jumping into talking about the product that you're reviewing, one of the things that I think is very good is to write down bullet points of the product that you want to highlight in the video. And what I highly recommend you do is that you rearrange the bullet points in the way so that you always save the most interesting things for last. Because by doing so, we have started to create a sort of video structure where we have piqued the audience's interest, we have introduced ourselves, we have gotten them to the midpoint of the intro, and just that, we start serving them with things that we're talking about the product, and then we try to keep them hooked all the way to the end, which is the point of the YouTube video, because the longer we can keep the audience, the more your video is going to be promoted into the YouTube algorithm. And the reason that this works is because the longer the watch time on your videos, the more YouTube will think that, aha, this video makes people stay on the platform, therefore I gotta promote this to a wider audience. And when you are talking about the product that you're reviewing, something that I recommend you to do is to shoot as much B-roll as you possibly can about said product. Trust me, you can never have enough B-roll. When I am shooting a product video, I am always, as soon as I get the product, I'm shooting an unboxing of the product. I am shooting B-roll of the product as soon as I take it out of the box to make sure that it's as clean looking as it possibly can be. And once you start getting into the habit of shooting the B-roll first, then the talking head, the editing process is going to be so much more easier for you when you start piecing things together. And when I'm saying B-roll of the product, I don't mean only the actual product shots that are the money shots that look super good. I mean also testing out the products, or maybe you sitting down, typing on the keyboard that you're testing out, and those kind of living shots to make sure that the video feels more live when you are talking about said product. And something I personally like to do is to throw in a little bit of jokes and try to be as comfortable as possible in front of the camera. This is going to require a lot of practice, so don't worry, but don't hesitate to put a little bit of your humor into the video that you are creating. And when you get to the end of the video, I highly recommend you to always end with a call to action again, so that you get a reminder to people that forgot to subscribe when you initially said it in the beginning of the video. Because when you do this, it's more likely that people subscribe when there's a call to action. And it's also a great way to ask people for their own opinions on the product, if they are going to buy the product, what they think about the product, and what they liked about the video and what they disliked about the video. And something that I highly recommend to do as well is try to think of all the different platforms that you are trying to grow. For example, if you want people to find your Instagram, then make sure to put in a call out for your Instagram as well, such as this one, because when you do that, people will find you on Instagram and they will be reminded that you have another platform as well and not only YouTube. And this is not only good to be able to broaden your follower base, but also when it comes to working with brands that we are talking about later in the course. Always try to think of how you can use the platforms that you're posting to grow your other platforms as well. Vlogs are probably one of the hardest things that I have gotten myself into when it comes to creating videos. But it also depends on what kind of vlog that it is that you're trying to make. For me, that is in the filmmaking niche, the videography field, where everything should look good and there should be like shallow depth of field and that kind of stuff. It's very important that we switch up the angles, we make sure that it looks good, we set up the camera, walk past it, and that kind of stuff. But there's also a billion different ways that you can do this, so I'm not saying that this is the only way, but the way that a vlog should start is some sort of hook again, because we're always going to get back to the hook of the video and make sure that it grabs people's attention so that they keep watching on what we are wanting to show them. Vlogs are generally pretty hard to grow your channel on, but the kind of video structure that I've found to work the best is that if you don't tell people what you're going to do, you just bring them along on the journey and show them during the course of the video what is happening without talking too much to the camera. For example, one of the biggest mistakes that I see people are doing is saying what they are going to do and then showing what they are doing to you. And that kind of defeats the purpose of storytelling and video, because video is a visual storytelling aspects that you're supposed to use. And when you are talking and explaining what you are just about to do, then it kind of removes the element of surprise that is video. And the reason that I know this is because I did 45 daily vlogs in a row just to see how it would work if I just recorded my day without actually explaining what every day was going to be like. The audience retention on those videos are super high compared to my regular videos that is on my main channel. And I think that the reason for that is because I don't explain what I'm about to do in the video or what is going to happen. I just show the audience what I'm doing and how it's going, and then talk in between the different segments that is going on in the video. When you are vlogging, it can be in multiple different ways. You can plan your vlogs if you want to do that and set up the camera for each shot and write down exactly what you want to talk about. This is actually something that I did in the beginning of my vlogging career. When I first started YouTube and I wasn't as comfortable in speaking English, I wrote down every single word that I wanted to say so that I was reading from my phone before each take to make sure that I could deliver the line the way that I wanted it to come out to the video that I was recording. But I personally think that the best kind of vlogs are those that are raw and those that are changing camera angles to make sure that it feels like you are there with the person that you're watching. So if you are creating a vlog, try to focus on the different storytelling elements that you can use and don't make them too long, because our brain is very good at connecting things. We can connect that when we see someone go out the door, we are understanding that they are moving from one point to another, but we don't know where yet. But if you are going to show each and every step between going out the door, going down the stairs, and then going out another door, then going into the garage, and then going into the car, like, that is just going to take the viewer out of the immersion of actually following you on your journey throughout the day, because you are showing too much. You're overtelling the story that you're about to share. So try to think of the vlog as something that you record throughout the day, and then piece together in the edit. Because even though you record all these things when you go out the door, when you go down the stairs, blah, 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 you don't have to include it in the video. Same goes as what we just talked about when it comes to the product reviews. Some general things to think of is to, in the beginning of the video, show the hook. Show the viewer what they can expect from the video that they're about to see. And then cut back to the beginning of the day, the event or the product review or whatever kind of video it is that you're making to your audience. I think that one of the great examples again that we can take is TV shows, because usually in the beginning of every TV show that we see, we briefly see the highlights of the episode and then we're taken back into the beginning of the video that is leading up to that thing that we saw in the beginning of the episode. So make sure that you take your audience through the different steps that leads up to what you show them in the beginning. And just to give you a quick example of a product video structure, show the unboxing of the product in the beginning, roll your intro, introduce yourself, and then explain that there's a couple of things that you like about it, but also a couple of things that you dislike about the product. And then jump back, start from the beginning, talk about the things that you don't like about the product, or talk about the things that you like about the product, because people like drama and they usually tend to stay when you have something bad to say about something. And then towards the end of the video, you reveal the best parts that you saved for last, and then you roll your outro. That is a very good video structure for a product review video. It's also very important that you edit away all the unnecessary things in your videos and try to make use of cropping in and cropping out if you are doing a lot of but, or those kind of sounds. I've found it to be very good to just do a quick crop in and then crop out, or even switch camera angles to make it feel like we have different angles in not actually cutting, even though we are cutting between the two cameras. But everything that is not driving the video forwards or feels unnecessary should be cut out of the video. And sometimes you actually gotta kill your darlings. Try to keep a fast pace in your video. And when I'm saying fast pace, I don't mean that you should record everything as quickly as you possibly can, because that's just blah, blah, blah. It's just gonna be hard on your head. But try to edit it so that it feels like you're having a fast pace in the video that you're making, and that it feels upbeat, it feels like it's going forward, and then it's like do, because that also keeps the viewer watching your video. If it feels too dragged out, as we talked about in the beginning, then it's just gonna feel flat and it's not gonna work when you're creating a longer video. Another really important thing is always talk about you, because it's you that are watching. It's not you guys or hey everybody. It doesn't feel personal, because when we are watching YouTube videos, we want to feel this relationship basically with the viewer and with the creator that we're watching. For example, now you're watching me and I'm talking to you, but if I were to say now you guys are watching me and I am talking to you guys, then it doesn't feel as personal. So always try to have the you in mind when you're recording your videos and asking questions to the audience, because you is more personal than you guys. And last thing to summarize is going to be, once again, to show more than you tell. This is going to be so important when it comes to making videos. It doesn't matter if it's vlogs, if it's product videos, or if it's any kind of documentary. Just show more than you tell and let the video be a huge part of the storytelling that you're actually making in your video. That is going to be it for episode 1, which was creating your first video. And I will see you in episode 2, which is what to think of when uploading videos. Make sure to grab a little bit of coffee or some snacks, because next one is also going to be a lot. See you soon.